You don't fear death. You welcome it. Your punishment must be more severe.
Torture.
Yes. But not of your body. Of your soul.
Where am I?
Home. Where I learned the truth about despair. As will you. There's a reason why this prison is the worst hell on earth. Hope. Every man who has rotted here over the centuries has looked up to the light and imagined climbing to freedom. So easy. So simple. And like shipwrecked men turning to seawater from uncontrollable thirst. Many have died trying. And learned here that there can be no true despair without hope. So, as I terrorize Gotham, I will feed its people hope to poison their souls. I will let them believe that they can survive so that you can watch them clambering over each other to stay in the sun. You could watch me torture an entire city. And then when you have truly understood the depth of your failure, we will fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny. We will destroy Gotham. And then, when it is done, and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die.
Watching every feature film is as a certain King Crusader. Batman! Yes, of course I'm watching the cartoon in all 3 Lego movies. Batman! Sing it with me. Batman! This is big screen Batman. Oh, oops. Oh, Batman.
Finally, I'm back talking about Batman. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Mentality. Welcome to Big Screen Batman, where today I'm going to talk about the 2012 Christopher Nolan film, The Dark Knight Rises. Or is it just Dark Knight Rises? No, there's a the. I have to be honest with you. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel going into this movie. I thought, wait, do I not like this movie? I realized that it came out 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago, 2012. And yet, I had never seen it since the theater. I shouldn't say I'd never seen it. I haven't seen it since the theater. And I remember going into the movie being very excited about it because coming off Dark Knight, which to me was almost a perfect movie, I was pumped to see The Dark Knight Rises. And as I remember going to the theater, and I remember it was like you were like a little hesitant because I feel like this was the movie that had the shooting, right? There was a shooting in Colorado where like multiple people were killed, and I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that it was a Batman movie or anything, but I remember going to the theater to see it and being like, oh, this was the movie that people were at when they got killed. So I remember that happening. But other than that, like going into the theater, seeing the movie start, and being immediately like taken out of it a bit when I heard Bane's voice. And it wasn't it wasn't because of how he spoke. It wasn't his accent. Because I thought that was very weird, but weird in a good way. It was the volume of the voice. It took over the whole theater. Like people were talking on this plane that was crashing, and Bane was like, I'm so much more louder than you. I'm Bane, it is. And it was like, I'm like, wait, is this correct? Am I hearing this? Like, is the audio wrong? And then I just watched it on my laptop. And I have to be honest with you, this is a long movie. I started it 2 days ago. I finished it last night. I'm talking about it today. And again, the voice was just really loud. So I'm thinking, does that mask have like some sort of like amplifier in it? Because it was just, it felt like it was all done after the fact. Like he wasn't talking right then and there. It took me a second to kind of ignore that and just look at the spectacle that was that opening scene with the plane dropping. It was, now is not a time for fear. That comes later, right? Wasn't that it? Now, but other than that, I enjoyed this movie a lot, even though there wasn't a lot of Batman. For some reason, I thought he was in the jail, that prison, a lot longer. I thought that was a much longer story. And it, you know what I have to say is I 1,000,000% forgot that Anne Hathaway was in this as Catwoman. And it's funny, like I'm looking at some of the actors in this, and some of them, like where have they been? Like Anne Hathaway, okay, she's been around, but she hasn't had something big. Like she did an HBO Max movie, The Witches, right? And that didn't really do anything. Then I look at Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm like, where the hell is this dude? Okay, this was like his, like not his big break, right? Because did he do Inception before this? Inception was in 2010, so this was like Christopher Nolan would go do a movie between the Batman movies. So Nolan already liked Joseph Gordon-Levitt. His stock was pretty high, and I feel like he's around. I've seen him in things. I saw him in the Christmas movie, but even that was like years ago. He was Edward Snowden. He's in some movie like that was on Amazon where he's a pilot. Was that last year? But I feel like he hasn't done a ton. Okay, he was in Knives Out. He was the voice of a detective. Okay. He was the voice in Last Jedi. But I mean, Snowden, the plane movie, and he was on some Amazon. Oh, that was the movie on Netflix. Yeah, there was that. Project Power. So he's done a couple of Netflix movies. So he's still working, but I haven't seen something where I feel like he's the star. Good actor, even though, he was a little annoying on Third Rock from the Sun, but he grew out of that and became a good actor. And I liked him in this, and I liked the whole thing of like, he basically is Robin and then becomes Batman. It was kind of, said but not said. I mean, obviously you've seen this movie. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, am I? But then there's, what's that other woman's name? Marion Cotillard. And she was in Inception too. Where's she been? Has she done? Okay, I'm going to look up movies real quick. She was in that Doolittle as a voice. What the hell? Yep. Dope. No, I really haven't seen much of her in a few years. I don't know. I mean, maybe she's just in movies that she's not working, but movies I haven't heard of. But I remember she was a big deal, and she won an Oscar, right? And then she was in Inception, and then she was in Batman movie. And of course, her whole thing was you think she's one character, then she's another character. So I enjoyed all of that. The thing I enjoyed the most about this movie was I think it's Christopher Nolan's direction of how it feels real. Like there's that bat copter, whatever you call it, the bat hoverboard, it works like a drone. And it was really cool because it didn't feel like it was CGI. Now, for all I know, they actually had that thing. I have no idea. I didn't look it up. But I remember that being really cool, flying over the cops. And I remember in the theater one moment where the cops charged when they had Batman on their back. And I remember getting like chills, like, oh, it's happening. Like, so when a movie does that to you, I have to say that I think I enjoyed it. So the movie, at the beginning, it's like, okay, Batman's disappeared. He's wanted for murder of Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent is a hero. They've made Harvey Dent a hero. They use his death to create a thing called the Harvey Dent Act, which put all these guys in prison. So they've kind of twisted the story at Batman's behest. It was actually his idea, a symbol, right? But the thing is that Gordon, commissioner now, was going to tell the truth, and then he was going to resign, and that never happened. But they had a police ball, I don't know what the hell, a fundraiser on Wayne Estate, and Wayne never shows his face anymore, doesn't do anything. He's kind of gone in hiding since all this happened. I think he's depressed because of the death of Rachel. And all of a sudden, one of the maids happens to be Selina Kyle. Catwoman shows up. She's stealing Bruce Wayne's fingerprints so that she can trade them for something that will erase her from all databases in the world so that, I started this 2 days ago. I'm trying to go on memory. And his fingerprints can be used to sell the business or whatever, steal the business from him, trade him. I don't know. And as it turns out, there's a new bad guy in town named Bane who's got the mask. And he is, what we find out later is he is there. He's not even like the main villain. That was the weird thing with me, okay? You got this dude show up. He's got this like major theatrics. He's got this voice. He's got this look. He's got this badass coat. You got Tom Hardy. He's huge. He's kicking ass. He's making all these decisions, killing this person, killing that person. And he does the whole thing at the Gotham football stadium, kills the mayor, all these things, right? And I didn't realize, or I forgot, that he was basically saying he's directly connected to the League of Shadows, League of Assassins, and Ra's al Ghul, or the Ra's al Ghul, whatever you say it the way you want to say it, potato, Ra's. But then they're saying he was, at one point they make you feel like he's the son of Ra's al Ghul, but no, he was cast aside. But he actually was there to protect the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, who is really Maria Cotillard, and she's actually the big villain the entire time, and she wants to finish her father's quest of destroying Gotham. So, Ra's al Ghul, League of Shadows, they destroy cities. Talia wants to finish the story. The Joker, he was just there to cause trouble. That's what I like about the Joker the most. He was just there to stir shit up. But this was more like, we are here on destiny. And once you realize that she is a villain, Bane just goes away. It's almost like Bane is almost like the friggin' Musclehead in Batman and Robin, that one. Because all of a sudden, his mask, Batman kicks the shit out of him, he beats him up. His mask breaks off. Once his mask breaks off, he's nothing. He's about to beat him really good. He's like, "Where is the detonator? Where is the detonator?" He didn't have an accent, but... and then all of a sudden she stabs Batman, and we realize, I'm Talia al Ghul. I will give you the full story. I'm the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. He was my protector in this prison. I escaped from the prison, not him. He got out later, I guess. I don't know. And Baines just sits there. He cries a little bit. He kind of becomes a henchman at that point. And then Selina shows up on the bat motorcycle, bat bike, whatever you want to call it, and blows him away, makes a little quip about guns. and that's it. Bane is killed right then and there. His moida is very unceremonious. Ceremonious? Is that the word? Talia ends up in kind of an accident or whatever. Her car gets smushed or crushed or blown up, and she's like, I'm dying in my chair. So she's dying in her chair in the front seat of the car, but she's like, I'm going to die killing you all. But at that moment, Batman got out of the boat just to look, and it was a weird thing when they're all looking at Talia die. You got Gordon, you got then you got Catwoman, and you got Batman. Batman just has this dumbfounded look on his face, like, huh? So there was moments like that where, like, Batman talked like this too much, and it almost like he put this weird crick in his mouth to make his mouth crooked. And at the same time, though, maybe he did that as a decision to throw people off even more. Boy, oh boy. But yeah, Bane's moida was unceremonious. Then the whole thing with Batman flying away with the bomb, sacrificing himself, seemingly putting an end to the Batman, but he ended up fixing the autopilot, so he must have jumped out at some point. They tricked us because they show him in the plane, in the whatever the hell he called, the Bat, and then the bomb goes off, but he wasn't there, I guess. And then he goes to the exact. I used to go to a cafe, and I would look, and maybe I'd see you there, and we wouldn't say anything, but we'd both know that you were all right. You'd be there with your family. That's my Michael Caine. It's not very good. Let me do a better Michael Caine. I want to talk like Michael Caine, but I'm sorry. Rachel left you. She put a letter that she was choosing Harvey. And what if I burnt that letter? I can't do it. I can't. You can't just do a British accent. It was Phil Hartman said, if you want to talk like Michael Caine, you've got to talk slow like this. But it's not. It's just a slow British accent. It's not great. But all the main characters were back. We got Lucius Fox, Morgan Freeman. We got Michael Caine as Alfred Pennyworth, even though Bruce fires Alfred. So that annoyed me. But he left a house to him. But then the house became a house for boys. I don't know. Then you got Commissioner Gordon. That guy. Gary Oldman. Always great. Always great. He's questioning himself because of what he did. The truth comes out the truth does come out that Batman is the hero, and they used it. But they make Gordon look bad for a moment, but it doesn't really stick. And Gordon could be like, "Look, this was Batman's idea. Okay, man. He didn't want to do it anymore, and he just went into hiding." So, but it's funny because Bruce Wayne's in a recluse. All of a sudden, Bruce Wayne shows up. All of a sudden, Batman shows up. I'm like, hello. And then Bruce Wayne disappears again, right? And then all of a sudden, he comes out of prison. And then Batman's back again while Gotham turns to like a martial law police state, whatever you want to call it. Goes into full turmoil. And even with that, Selena Kyle still didn't. She's like, what about your friend? I was like, are you freaking kidding me? He's the Batman. He's the friend. You do see that, right? Unless she was just playing coy. Maybe there's that. Maybe she was just being a coy. Yeah. I don't know. But I remember, like, enjoying the climax of the movie. I love the big fights in the street. Batman and Bane just, like, getting at each other, going after each other. I really enjoyed that. I liked the breaking people out of prison and, Bane calling Commissioner Gordon and telling the truth to everybody. I did enjoy that. It was, I think what I didn't like was that we find out that Bane wasn't even really not even that he wasn't a bad guy, but then after that he just like was a puddle of pudding. It wasn't much of anything. Not quite the same thing as like Ben Kingsley in one of the Iron Man movies, where the whole point of that was for him to not be the bad guy. This was like, I'm the main bad guy, but not really. It just, I don't know. It that bothered me a bit. But for the most part, I was a fan of this movie. Now we got Robin. I forget his name, the character's name, but his full name had Robin in it, which is a play on Robin, obviously. And Batman's like, anyone can wear the cape. Anyone can do it. He was basically setting things up. And, of course, at the end, I don't remember, so did Bruce Wayne leave him the coordinates? He must have. Because all of a sudden he's in the Batcave. He's got the light. The bats are there. That was kind of a cool ending. They're still, the Dark Knight Rises. Could that be him? Could it be, he becomes the Batman and everyone seems to, the Batman's back. Batman's back tonight. That could be the next movie. The Batman's back. But this is not an ongoing thing. This was Batman Begins. He becomes the Dark Knight, and the Dark Knight Rises, and that's it. And that's the end of Christopher Nolan, the end of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, the end of Christian Bale as Batman, the end of Christian Bale in superhero movies, except, of course, if he's really in Thor 4, which would be pretty cool. And it really is the end of, for me, the end of an era of consistency with Batman and quality that is not yet met again. I say that with love or like of the upcoming movies, because this is the 9th movie in the Batman series that I've seen so far. So we're going back 66, 89, then we got Batman Returns, Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Then we got Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. That's the end of, 2 big eras. The eras that most people love about Batman, even though there's some stinkers in there. The Schumacher ones are still tied to the Tim Burton ones, which are the ones that everyone loves. And the Nolan ones, I think most people love those too. And that's kind of where it ends. Unless, of course, you count my next movie, which is not a Batman movie, but it is a movie with a Batman in it. I think you know what it is. We're going back to animation for 2014's The Lego Movie, where Batman's in it, so this counts. But I don't know if I'm done talking about Dark Knight Rises. I feel like I haven't talked enough about it. Anne Hathaway. So let's talk about that character a little. I liked her. It's funny. People get annoyed by her. But she is a great actress. She hasn't done huge things lately. And this didn't help, really. Did it? I don't know. She made some Matthew McConaughey movie, which didn't it make $8 or something? It was ridiculous. But she, and it's funny. I 1,000,000% forgot that she was in this. And I was like, oh yeah, all the Catwoman stuff. I forgot about that. And I thought she did a fine job. Even though they never quite called her Cat, they never called her Catwoman. They called her the Cat because she's a cat burglar. They, at a costume party, she had ears, and then she had these goggles that when you flip up look like cat ears. And of course, she had the cat suit, which the tight suit. Right? Look, I don't want to get into it, but she was good at it. She fit the role, like Johnny Bravo. She fit the jacket. I thought she was good. I thought she was fine. She's a couple of little quips, but this Selena Kyle, she's supposed to kind of be a ball breaker, and I was happy with her. It's the thing. It's like, oh, we could have seen them again. This was not a movie that was set up for sequels. This was the end. I don't know if this was known as the end of the road at the time. That's the thing. I mean, they really did put a button on it. Like, Bruce Wayne is presumed dead in hiding. Batman is, gone, presumed sacrificing himself, and perhaps a new hero will rise out of that ashes with the kid from Third Rock from the Sun. But I don't know if they said going in, this is the end of the Nolan trilogy. It's a Nolan trilogy, and it's boom, bing, bang, boom, done. Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan, bing, bang, boom, done. But that's what happened. because that's 9 years ago, which is crazy, which is shocking, which is insane. It's like we never get to see Christian Bale with Henry Cavill or Brandon Routh, but we do eventually see Superman and Batman in the same movie. And that's the next movie coming up, the Lego movie, right? Because they're both in that, aren't they? I'm done talking about this. It was better than I was expecting it to be, watching it again, because I never went back to it. I was like, I like this. I like what's going on here. I like the whole thing about, what happens to Gotham and all that stuff. Batman just disappearing and showing up. It was a little like, I put two and two together. Why couldn't they? Also, I did like seeing Cillian Murphy again as, he wasn't dressed up as the Scarecrow, but he was the judge, because he just was there. He never got killed in the first one. He was around in the second one, got arrested, but he obviously got out, and he played this little role as this kangaroo court judge, and I thought that was cool. And it was, you choose death or exile, and it was death, you go on the ice and you fall through, or exile by going on the ice and falling through. But then all these police officers are walking on this ice, and earlier in the movie they show someone fall through the ice and that's how they die. And it was even the guy who sent him on the ice almost seemed like, I don't want to have to do this, but I'm trying to survive. But then Gordon and a couple of cops are going on the ice, and then Batman shows up in the ice, is like, light this fire on the ice. Wait, I'm sorry. The ice, you're afraid of falling through the ice, and you want to light a fire on the ice so that you can get this giant fireball in the sky, which I believe is a bat, but it's not the most. You know what I like is it's not a perfect. If this was Joel Schumacher, it would have been the perfect bat logo. This is what you would do if you want to get this bat logo made of fire, what it actually would look like, which was almost the bat logo. But here's a bigger question. Gotham is in turmoil. Batman needs to show people he's back. I get that. But when did he find the time to take, I don't know, gasoline or something and paint the side of a bridge with a perfect bat logo that didn't burn perfectly, but I'm sure he painted it perfectly. So he's like, I got to get up early and I got to get to the bridge. I got to get up early and go to the bridge and paint a bat on it. And then Bane's like, that's impossible. Or Bane should have been like, what is that bat? Why would he waste so much time? So many people have died. What an irresponsible decision. What an irresponsible decision. I can't do a Bane. And again, other than the voice being sometimes seeming like it's not actually there, and the ending where he was basically a marshmallow, I thought Tom Hardy was awesome in this. And I liked the way I liked his talk at the prison when he's like, then you have my permission to die. And I liked his talk at the stadium, right? When he was like, Gotham is your reckoning. Because Tom Hardy just chews up the freaking screen, no matter what. So I didn't want to not mention that, how good that was. But I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think we did it. The Dark Knight Rises. 2012, 9 years ago. And then we're going to go 2 years later, 2014, for a fun movie that I can't wait to talk about. I've talked about it before on my Movie Month podcast. In fact, I've talked about that. I've talked about all three, I think, Lego movies on my Movie Month podcast, I believe. Did I see Lego Movie Part 2? I think I have, but I don't know. I don't know. That's how much it's held on me. So let me tell you what we have on the list, okay? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 more movies listed. Wait, 9 more movies. 9, because I just watched one of them. So we got the Lego movie coming up. Then we have Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice from 2016. Also from 2016, Suicide Squad, because guess what? Batman's in it. 2017, the Lego Batman movie. Can't skip that. Big screen, Batman. Also 2017, Justice League. Then we flash forward 2 years to the Lego Movie 2, the second part, which I assume Batman's in. I really should look it up, but I'm sure I must have seen this. Then, this is an interesting one, because you think that's the end, but I'm counting 2019's Joker. I'm counting it because Bruce Wayne's in it. So, well, it's not technically Batman. This is my podcast, and I make the rules up, so who cares, right? Then we get Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're going to do Justice League twice. The original Justice League, then we're going to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I guess is going to be in March. It is a 4-hour-long film, and that's the end for now. But according to Wikipedia, at the time that I wrote this, who knows, it says March 4th, 2022 is when The Batman comes out. A whole new Batman, a whole new film, a whole new story. I don't know what the hell it's going to be about. I don't know what world this is in, but that's when we're going to come back for that one. And then, who knows, because we hear so much more about this Flash movie, which is going to have multiple Batmen, and we could see Batman in other Batman movies. So big screen Batman is never going to end. But when we do get caught up, it's not the end of our little DC excitement here, because some of these movies we're going to watch again. Because after big screen Batman comes silver screen Superman, baby. It's coming soon to Fans Not Experts, to Geek Mentality. But I got a lot happening because we're almost done with January. February, all Batman, pretty much. March is going to be a toughie because that's when Snyder's Justice League is going to be coming out. So we got a lot to do in February. I feel like I got to get through all these movies, and I'm going to do it because March I'm going to be watching Back to the Future every single day for, is it 30 days? Or is it 31 days in March? I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's a little project I'm calling Marchy McFly, and I hope you guys stay subscribed. Check it out right here on Geek Mentality. There'll be a new episode every single day covering my favorite movie of all time, Back to the Future. That's it. I'm done. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy 2021, everybody. And until you hear from me next time when we talk the Lego movie, I don't know. Then you have my permission to keep listening. Oh, there you go. That ties in. All right, cool. And, oh, yeah, here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kind of funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kind of handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode. Fans Not Experts.